What's up, everybody? How you doing? My name is Randall. That is my boy Nitty. This is the Punk Rock Review. We are hanging out. What y'all think about the new intro? Not really comfortable doing it yet, but I'm gonna keep trying. I'm always trying to change the channel a little bit and upgrade things, make it a little bit better. So,
what did you do differently?
Introducing us by name.
Oh,
I know, right? It's like a small, little, tiny difference. But I heard another guy whose channel I really like, and it's not a music channel. It's just it's a different thing. But he's like, my name is blah blah blah, and this is the da da da. And I was like, oh, that sounds way more professional. And I don't want it to be, hey, you're the Punk Rock Review. I want it to be like, oh, hey, what's up, Randall? Like, I would rather just people know my name. So
that's awesome. That's real.
Anyways, how's everybody doing? Hope you're having a good week. By the time you see this, it'll probably be like Thursday in the week, I would imagine. So, yeah, we're hanging out doing a best of, worst of. It kind of ends up just being like reviews of these albums we pick out, but we do pinpoint what we do think is the best song, what we do think is the worst song of the album. Now, keep in mind that when we do these conversations, this is subjective. It is just our opinion. If you disagree, by all means, let us know. I would appreciate it if you weren't rude about it, but you know, that's about as much as I'm going to argue about that. So, dude, at this point, I've been told I was a poser by enough people that I'm pretty sure they're correct at this point. So, my apologies for wasting your time, folks. By all means, go elsewhere. Okay, before we get started, if you want to support the channel further than just watching a video, Patreon links in the description. We've got giveaways, exclusive content. I'm about to start doing early release content where I do like a day or two early is all the podcast, and then they go up on YouTube. And then I'm working on a live stream thing. I think I've got it figured out. So 2026 is going to be a big year for Patreon. Oh, and an exclusive Discord is pretty important. But you can check that out. There's t-shirts you can buy at the bottom. Again, January, we got new shirts coming up. Or you can just subscribe to the channel. Either way, you support however you're comfortable supporting, and I appreciate it nonetheless. So we're talking about 4 albums. Monumental albums. Okay. Technical difficulties over with. So, yeah, we got 4 albums. They're pretty monumental. And, yeah, like I was saying, you'll see them in the thumbnail, so you know what we're talking about already. I'm going to let Nitty go first. He picked 2. I picked 2. We're going to talk about some punk rock, dude. Let's go. Which album are you going to go with first, my friend?
Well, I didn't know how much I was actually going to love this record and this band.
I know what it's pretty.
Huh?
I said I already know what it is.
The Zero Boys, The Vicious Circle. Wow. I was blown away by that fucking album. And I don't say that a lot about music, but it's so fucking good. It's just so fucking good, man.
You're not wrong.
It's the musicianship on that record is like top tier. Like those guys can play their instruments and you can hear it. And for when it came out too, 1982? You know, they were probably like one of the best American hardcore punk bands at that time. I think there's a lot to say about that record and the guys in that band and particularly the vocalist of that band, who went on to have quite a career in music and still does up till now, up till this day.
Dude, enlighten me. What's he doing now?
You know, well, I'll just give you a little nugget. Remember that song by The Fray, "How to Save a Life"?
No, I never. To my knowledge, I don't know who The Fray is.
It was just this like radio like rock song that came out, like that "How to Save a Life." That song.
Yeah, I don't recall hearing it, but I'm gonna check it out now.
All right. Well, it's a shitty fucking rock song, but he produced it and won a Grammy for it.
You say he wrote it?
He produced it.
He produced it. Sorry.
So you know,
that's kind of crazy. He won a Grammy?
Yeah, he won a Grammy for that song. So the guy is like a big time producer. He's a professor at the University of Indiana, also for
dude, that's awesome.
For like audio engineering, and he teaches a history of punk class there too. He's quite fascinating and really fucking smart, and the kind of guy that I would love to sit in a room with, to be quite honest with you, and just have a conversation with and learn from. You know,
well, I mean, there's not a lot of information on him, like on Wikipedia or anything, so like I might try to reach out and just because I would love to just hear the story of this band, because I'm gonna let you give me your whole rundown on it, but I will corroborate your feelings on this, dude. I had already known that I liked this, but it had been a while since I heard it, and so
yeah,
when you picked it, I was like, oh man, I don't know if you remember, but I was like kind of stoked when you picked it. I was like, oh yeah, dude, Zero Boys are great, bro. I forgot how great they were, man.
Yeah.
like, because I don't have. This is the problem with my memory and such, is that my memory doesn't work in the way where I can hear something and then read something and then I retain that knowledge. It's just not how my brain works. So I knew I heard it, I knew I'd enjoyed it, but I don't have a lot of info on the band either. So I just forgot how good it was. And boy, I tell you, I'll talk in detail in a few minutes. I want to let you say your piece, but I got some notes on this record.
I mean, there was so much. I mean, just up until when we started doing the stream, I was listening to him talking to that one podcast. Turned Out a Punk. Damien.
That guy knows everybody, bro. What the?
Does. And I really enjoy his conversations with people because he's a nerd. He's a fucking nerd to the max, and he knows a lot about music.
We definitely do different styles of interviews, that's for sure.
Yeah, he just talks to people. It's a different type of conversation. But yeah, he does know a lot of people, and he's had conversations with a lot of people. And I just looked up Zero Boy's interview because I needed to find, like you said, there's not a lot of information about them out there. So I found a conversation he had with the vocalist, and it's about an hour and like a half long. And I just was, making some food and listening to it. And I learned a lot about the punk scene in the Midwest in the early 80s and kind of how they came about and the bands they played with, how isolated the hardcore punk scene was in the Midwest, specifically from the East and West coasts. And just a little side, segue. There's a great movie called American Hardcore. Have you heard it before?
Oh, yeah, I've watched that.
You watched it? It covers like it kind of covers the whole history of like American punk through from the late 70s into the 80s and stuff like that. And I think this band is definitely mentioned in there at some point. But the Midwest, Indianapolis, Chicago, a lot of Illinois, Wisconsin, a lot of these bands were so isolated from what was happening in the rest of the country that like
I know that's like
they really just kind of like you're surrounded by cornfields and fucking factories. There's not a lot going on around you, right? So because there's nothing to do in those areas, that's where bands come from. You got to do something with your time, be creative. Right. You got long winters, and you're kind of, and he said it best, like in the Midwest, people tend to have a polite kind of like exterior, a demeanor that hides a really, I don't know, a dark kind of interior. So there's this level of like sarcasm that comes along with a lot of these bands that come out of the scene, particularly in the early 80s. And that's why a lot of these bands kind of have like a sense of humor. They weren't really on that really super macho shit that was happening on the East Coast as much. Right. They were definitely, if you listen to this record, it's not a macho record at all.
It's as much a punk record as it is a hardcore record.
Yeah, it's very snotty. Like he even said in the interview, like we went to the East Coast and they were kind of looking at us like, you guys aren't tough. You guys are kind of pussies. You know what I mean? But so they felt like they didn't really belong anywhere, because they were just a snotty kind of punk band that was saying what they had to say that played really fast, And in a lot of ways, it's a very melodic kind of record or punk record.
There's all kinds of great stuff in this record.
Yeah, it's such a good record, and I really, really, really enjoyed it a lot from like front to back. I loved it. It was great.
Without going into too much detail yet, there wasn't much on this record that I didn't thoroughly enjoy. It's kind of bittersweet. Some people don't know this about me because I don't talk about it often, but I have two major head injuries in my life. I fell out of a truck when I was like, I don't know, like maybe 10 or 11 and busted my shit open pretty bad. Oh my God. And then like, it might've been a year or two later, I fell out of a pecan tree and landed on a root and busted it open again. And so I have these like memory issues from these traumatic head injuries. And like, that's why I'm scared of heights. Like I won't climb up on crap because I'm just like, I'm good, man. I've already busted myself up pretty bad.
Right.
My reason for saying that is that I've watched American Hardcore at least twice, maybe 3 times. And I don't recall this band at all, but like, it's a blessing and a curse, dude. I can watch a movie 6 months later. I can just rewatch it because I'm not going to remember nothing about it.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it makes me want to go back and watch that documentary again and hear about this band a little bit.
I mean,
I just want to watch it again anyways, because it's got a bunch of
great documentary. I could be, I don't want to be wrong. I could be wrong, but there's something that tells me, because there's not a lot of bands that were coming out of Indianapolis or Indiana at that time to begin with. And I feel like they must have been covered in the You know,
maybe. I mean, who knows, man? I'll watch it soon, and you know,
but
look, if they're not mentioned, it's not a big deal, folks. Don't get all pissed off and start talking shit.
They were in that documentary. That guy's full of shit. But I'm pretty sure.
Here's one of the things about this album that I really like is that it's one of those records that has. Let me pull it up real quick. Isn't it this bright yellow, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, it's got.
This dude, it's got one of these cover art. The cover art on this album is one of those pieces of art that is kind of timeless. And whenever I was looking through distributor stuff to bring in records at the store, I saw this and it immediately pinged like this like familiar feeling. And I honestly couldn't remember if it was because I knew them or if I just recognized the artwork. I didn't know why I remembered that, but I was like, oh. And that's how I rediscovered them. It was like a year ago. Kevin was like, oh, you like the Zero Boys? You should bring that in your store. And I was like, dude, I ordered one. And we were talking about it. That's how I rediscovered this about a year ago with Kevin Hogan. And yeah, man, listening to it over the last like week and a half, I think that's the one I listened to probably the most. I gave them all a couple of listens, but I think I listened to that one the most because it's still, even though I've heard it a bunch, I haven't heard it enough to remember all the words to the songs. So it's still fresh and I still get excited listening to it. Whereas you have like the other albums we're going to talk about, we know a fair bit of those songs, I would think. And so there's not a lot of, I don't know, freshness going on there. It's stuff that, you know, you probably listen to them more than I have. We're going to talk about some stuff that I don't have a ton of experience with. Actually, I say that, I kind of regret saying it now because I don't think I've listened to these other albums very much, except for the Dead Kennedys record. But anyhow, yeah, dude, man, I think I said that all backwards. I don't think I've listened to these albums much. I'm looking at them. I'm like, dude, I think the Zero Boys might be the one I've actually listened to the most, like in my life.
Oh, in your life? Okay, I thought.
Yeah, like in my whole life. Because I'm thinking about it. I just, for some reason, I'm looking at these other three, and those are like super classics, and I'm like, nah, certainly I've heard those more. I don't think so, dude. I don't, because when we get into these conversations, you're going to be surprised at how much I don't know about these because, you know, again, we'll talk about it in a minute. So tell me on this album, like what songs did you like? What about the record did you like? I've got a fair amount of notes that I'll get into once you give me your thoughts on it, and then I've got like a actual like rating, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10 that I'll talk about.
I just, well, I mean, I'll tell you what I love about the record first. I like, it reminds me a lot of kind of like that Recess Records sound, like FYP, you know, all the bands that are coming out of that were coming out of like LA and like the like 90s and stuff, that kind of like snotty, I don't know how to explain it, like stuff that's very much influenced by like rollicking kind of American hardcore, but not the macho shit at all.
No, you're talking about West Coast hardcore. There's a distinct difference between West Coast hardcore and East Coast hardcore within the first generation of that kind of music.
Totally, 100%.
Like nowadays, there's going to be beat down bands on both sides of the country, and there's going to be
Black Flag was a little bit more on the angry side than
yeah, but I wouldn't call Black Flag macho. Black Flag
no,
macho.
Not at all. I mean, not even the like Rollins era stuff was particularly macho. It was just more kind of like seething.
Yeah, but it was definitely more angry, but I wouldn't call it macho.
Right.
Like it wasn't like, you know, dudes in gym shorts and tall tees chugging. It was still punk.
In fact, you know, in a lot of ways, the punk that I like in general, even the hardcore punk that I like, is like antithetical to the tough guy shit. It's like fuck the jocks kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's always been on that level, even the angry shit that I like. So that's kind of like the direction that I tend to go with this stuff in general, you know?
That's one of the reasons why I have such a hard time with hardcore in general. I like hardcore, but I like hardcore punk, like the heaviest stuff. Now there's outliers. I love Terror. I still like Hatebreed quite a bit.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I like Judge, but there's so many of those bands like Kublai Khan and Knocked Loose. I don't have no beef with those dudes. Like they're cool people. I would love to talk to them, as a matter of fact. Like that music to me, it doesn't sound like anything but metal.
It's not, like, I mean, to me, it's vaguely punk. There's nothing punk about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't have any punk in it. So how is it hardcore? That's the way I look at it, right? But it's like there's two different like kind of people that play hardcore. There's two different kinds of people, man. And one of them is a person that would play that kind of hardcore, and one's the kind of person that plays. And I'm not saying that one's better than the other. I'm just saying that they're distinctly different. They're just different people.
Different thing.
You know, one of them is gonna be much more into metal music just in general, I would think. And then
Right.
there's a personality difference, and then it is kind of like jocks versus nerds, kind of, you know.
It
Jocks
is
versus
totally.
punk. And
But this in that to what you're saying, like this
correct, within those two, you know, types of this music, which is why when you listen to the Zero Boys record, it speaks to you, because we listen to the more punk rock stuff. Now, I do find it,
you know, it's more rock and roll.
It's what?
Like rock and roll. It's
right.
It's a really fast rock and roll record. Like the riffs, you know what I'm saying? The solos, the way he sings and screams and shit. It's, you know.
I do think there's a gray area there where the lyrical content is probably really similar in both, but it's a gray area. There's definitely a definitive difference as well, but there's a spot where you have bands that I would say, like Terror is probably one of those bands where like you can tell he's talking about like bettering himself and like picking himself up off the floor and wiping the dust off. Like he might say it a little different, but there's like this like sort of crossover. My original point was going to be that you could probably read the lyrics and just tell immediately what was what. I don't know that that's necessarily true, man, but
I mean,
to a degree, I mean, you listen to 25 to Life lyrics, you're going to know exactly what that is. But
yeah, I mean, that's this. A lot of that stuff came much later, but it comes from a different place. But like early American hardcore, particularly in the early 80s, like we're talking between 1979 to 1982, 83. You know, it was more. It was new. It was fresh. A lot of these bands were trying to do something unique and different. So it hadn't gone through like 4 or 5 different iterations already to become something that's like not original at this point, right? So it's like it took time to get to like the later years, but by the time the 90s came around, everything was so different. Everything changed. Well, and the funny thing is, a lot of the people that originated this hardcore punk shit, these originators of this music, went on to do different stuff. They left punk.
Yeah,
you know
that's true. That's very true. Well, I'm thinking about like, because I'm sitting here trying to figure out like how did hardcore turn into what it is now? Because I'm not trying to like make a declaration of whether or not it's any good. I don't care at this point. Like you like what you like, and I'm not going to judge you. You listen to whatever you want. As an example, I don't really understand people that listen to Earth Crisis, but I feel like we're similar enough people that I'm like, nah, bro, you like what you like go jam that shit. Like, but I find it interesting that lifestyle has a lot to do with how this music sounds.
Yeah,
like, sonically. So you have like West Coast dudes that they're struggling, but it's a completely different struggle than somebody that's like in New York. And then you have guys like the dudes in Earth Crisis that pick up something like Minor Threat even, and they're like, oh man, I love this. I want it heavier. And so they just take it and they make it heavier, and then they take other influences in these metal bands that they like. Yeah. So you just have, it's interesting, bro. And it is like a super like, it goes from like the late 70s, early 80s, and then you start incorporating the metal. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's like 82, 83. So it's like just a little bit of overlap there, and it just piling on, and then it just changes. You know, you get all this, you know, we could do a whole 3-hour conversation on just the history of how that all went down. You know,
yeah. I mean, there was a rift, right? In fact, the singer of Zero Boys even says in the interview, he's like, I just don't want metal in my punk. This is a quote from him.
Really?
Yeah, he said, like, you know,
I mean, I dig that.
I mean, but again, like that was a part of the reason he left the whole thing to begin with, because things changed, the scenes changed, the music changed, and at that point he was just kind of like, I'm over it, you know. I
fucking hate DRI.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, like the like crossover thrash stuff started happening probably mid 80s, like I don't know, 84, 85, 86, and then, you know, there was just this genre kind of blending of things, and that stuff is cool. I like a lot of metallic kind of influenced punk, you know, Motorhead kind of influenced stuff, or even the more like thrashy kind of shit to some degree. But
I mean, you like a lot of D-beat stuff, and that's definitely metallic influence. But I mean, like, if you take Zero Boys and you take the first 2 Gnostic Front records and you just trace them back in time enough, there's going to be a point where they're in the same exact stuff. You know,
right?
It all comes from the same place. Just your inspirations make you make what you make. And
D-beat isn't like American like modern hard. It's completely different though. It's like
my point was just that it has metallic influences in it.
It does. Yeah. But without getting too off topic, like
we're way off topic. Let's talk about this album. What songs did you like? I got notes.
I'm gonna say a couple more things about this record and shut up. I just kind of found out about this band, and I really just listened to the record.
For all intents and purposes, this is new to me too. I just have heard it a few times.
I just threw the name out there because it's a name. I remember hearing 1 or 2 songs from them in the past and being like, I really like this. Like, and then I forgot about it. And then we were talking about what to do.
Isn't that awesome?
And
Isn't
then
that awesome?
And then it just kind of came out of my subconscious. I'm like, Zero Boys. It just fucking came out of my mouth. And then, and here I am, like, really, really enjoying this shit. This is like the kind of punk that I like, you know, and it just kind of, in a lot of ways, it speaks to me. I like the sounds, like the guitar tones on this record are so good. I wish I could find a way to like emulate them. In fact, all of these records that we're covering today have really cool guitar tones. I don't think the bands nowadays, like even like the more modern bands that try to emulate the sound, like they come close sometimes, but it's like you can't really like replicate it. You know, it's really difficult to do.
Dude, replicating anything that's truly great is impossible.
Yeah, it's like almost impossible. Like there will only be one of all 4 of these bands. Like, and that's
right.
That's the cool thing about this shit, you know. And
dude, you got me looking up. Like, I want to find a CD copy of this stinking album now. I gotta own it.
It's so good. I mean, it's. I think again, it's climbed my ladder of being probably one of the best like early American hardcore punk records. And you know, yeah. I like it's. I like everything about the record, and I want to know.
This is the perfect album to listen to on cassette.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like a skate rock record in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? It reminds me of skateboarding for some reason, but you know,
because skateboarding is also rad.
Yeah, and it's fast. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I'm sure in the comments people are gonna have a lot more to say about this.
You don't have like some songs that you picked
out?
Oh
yeah, my bad. Yeah. I do have songs I like.
That's what I'm trying to hear about, bro.
Vicious Circle is a great song. Track 5, Civilizations Dying is like probably one of my favorite songs on the record. Drug Free Youth is a great record. Down the Drain is a great song. High Time is one of the really good songs on this record too. She Said Goodbye, and I like Trying Harder a lot is a good song. I mean, everything on the album is great, if I'm being honest, but
no, it's yeah, we're gonna talk about that in just a second.
Living in the 80s is probably my least favorite song by them, which is funny because they released an EP part of this album coming out called Living in the 80s. And
dang, dude, that's like probably one of my favorite songs on the album.
Cool. I mean,
so my notes they're not long, so it's simple. I put that Civilization is Dying is a great song, excellent, memorable hook, and I really enjoy that one quite a bit. Living in the 80s, awesome as well. Calling out the old heads and standing tall. What did I put that? Sometimes I write down shit and I'm like, what did I mean by that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they're calling out old heads in that song. Anyways, Drug Free Youth sounds like the Descendants to me, by the way.
Oh, yeah. This really does sound a lot like the Descendants.
Yeah. Down the Drain sounds like it could have inspired early AFI stuff. Bouncy bass lines, melodic, short punk rock jam. Same with the next track, called Out of Style. That one also felt a little AFI, inspiration for AFI. Trying Harder has a very Ramones feel to it. It's also the longest song on the album. Maybe their attempt at an actual single, I don't know. It's a little bit slower as well in the tempo, and it's a little more melodic than the other songs. But it was a good song nonetheless. She Said Goodbye. It's got a hint of classic rock, and then it very clearly inspired bands like the Briefs, I would think. Go back and listen to She Said Goodbye, and then go listen to like some Briefs tracks, and you can hear, maybe it didn't, maybe they never heard it, I don't know, but it definitely has the same kind of sounds that inspired bands like the Briefs. Not much on this album to dislike. It's pretty good all the way through. Lots of variety, some real fast stuff, anthemic stuff, a couple of things that are slower and more melodic with a lighter tone lyrically. Whole lot of variety on this one. The worst song, I put, oddly enough, I don't care for the bookends. Neither are really worth hating, though, as the intro is sub 1 minute and the closer is just a song about moshing. So topically, it's great. It just doesn't really, I just don't really care for it much. So the first song and the last song, I could do without. The best song, in my opinion, was New Generation. It's got everything I like about a good punk rock song, dude. It's anthemic. It's got a great riff, little solo in there. Fantastic song, man. Fantastic song.
Well,
so as far as like a gradient score, man, what would you give this?
I mean, I'm gonna go back and listen to it again tomorrow, I think.
Making me want to as well.
This is gonna be a grower for me. This is gonna be one that quickly I'm gonna just really be like, and you know, honestly, the more we do these pods, and especially when we talk about older stuff, we don't really dive into like the early punk stuff very often. The classic stuff we cover a lot.
Right.
Of kind of.
I'm trying to do that a little bit more. If it wasn't obvious to people watching.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really getting into older punk now because I don't know, like
Why wouldn't you? You know.
What's that?
I said, why wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I also care about where the stuff I like came from, right? And this band is I think you know, influenced a lot of bands that I like. I'm gonna give this one like off just first listen like an 8.5.
That's a good score.
So 10. Yeah.
Let me say one more thing real quick. My apologies to people listening. I know I'm interrupting him. My brain is working faster than I'm trying not to though, and I know
each other, man, because we have a lot to say. It's okay.
Yeah. So my apologies to people watching. I'm not trying to be that guy. I gave this a subjective and an objective score. I try to do that as often as I can. So my subjective score, like what I think about this record, was 9.5 out of 10. It's almost perfect. If there was no intro that was like some silly little like intro song, I might have given this a 10. Even with the last song being one that I don't really care about. It's not a bad song. I just don't like it. I had to pick one I didn't like. So that's the one. As far as an objective grade, I still gave it a 9 out of 10. The only reason that I didn't give it a higher grade is because I think had this album come out, let's say 4 years before it did, it would be a perfect record. But there was some other bands that did similar things before this band to where I can't be like, oh, it was the most influential. So 9 out of 10 is honestly, it might even be wrong. It might be higher than that. This record is pretty great, man. Like there's not, I had to really search for reasons to not like something. And it just happens to be that I notoriously don't like intros. So like, obviously that would be something that would irritate me, but
it also like, this is a record that holds up, you know, like you
very much so.
You can play it now and it can be like, wow, this, if it came out today, you'd be like, this is awesome. Right. I mean,
absolutely.
I feel like a lot of like punk purist bands nowadays try really hard to emulate these bands, and some of the bands that we like, especially like these like underground kind of bands and stuff, they want to, you know, they love Zero Boys, so they're gonna try to sound like them and shit. But like this album really stands the test of time and holds up quite a bit because it just sounds good. Like sonically, it's recorded really well. The playing is just super awesome. Like I feel like, I don't know, people like tell me, especially like people that aren't into punk, they're like, oh, you know, punk, you know, you don't really have to like know how to play your instruments. I'm like, no,
I disagree with that.
Listen to this album and tell me these guys don't know how to play their instruments. Like they're ripping it on every level. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no, they're on point. So that'll like shut people up about, you know, that don't.
That argument I think is very silly, dude.
Yeah,
very silly.
But people say shit like that, you know, because they don't listen to the music or they don't really understand.
A lot of people don't want to. Yeah. Every year when I do my year-end thing, this is like a new tradition. I'm gonna start doing like music I discovered this year. Like at the end of the video, I'll be like, this is stuff I discovered that I it's not new, but it's new to me. And right now, I went ahead and added this to the list because while I heard it a long time ago, I could barely remember it, man. If I'm honest, all 4 of these records, I have very little recollection of hearing, even though I know for a fact that I've heard all of them. It wasn't enough for me to like, as a matter of fact, 2 of them we're going to talk about. I actively disliked the bands up until like a year ago anyway. So, but I also have Small Brown Bike, The Vapors.
Oh, wow.
Leatherface's Mush. I rediscovered that one this year. Or I might have even never heard it until you mentioned it. I can't remember. I think you might have introduced me to that album.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mods from Japan. That's all stuff that like I didn't know much about until this year. Like I never would have given Small Brown Bike a chance had you not told me that they sounded kind of like Leatherface and like you pushed it and said, hey, you need to listen to this. That name is so stupid to me. I hate the name of that band.
Well, they're also kind of like an emo band. They're
that's right. That's why I knew that. So like, but they're good, man. I really enjoy them. That's why I got to stop being so dumb about like, oh, the name is stupid. Like, who cares, bro?
But okay, cool. Vicious cycle. Circle. Fuck. Circle. Should we move on to the next one?
Yes, I was giving it a moment of silence. So when I look at the thing, I can see that there's a silent spot and it helps me cut the video. If you just take a couple seconds, I can see it. It doesn't really mess up the flow at all. It just gives me a visual place to clip when I need to clip. Okay, yeah. So the next album this will be my pick, and I'm gonna go with one that I've been told a million times to listen to because it is superior to the first album, and I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about that. The Damned, Machine Gun Etiquette. This album, let me pull up the wiki.
So good.
It came out in what, 1978, I think?
79.
79?
Yeah. Looks
See, I want to be very clear with everybody on here. I'm not an expert on this band. I barely started listening to them, but I am a fan now. I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I'm a fan of this band at this point. I like their first album a lot now, and I used to not. So, okay, this is the third album by them. I thought this was their second record.
Yeah, because they formed in 76. They've been around for a while.
Yeah, they did the first ever UK punk single was New Rose.
Yeah, and they were the first punk band from the UK to tour the United States.
Yeah, dude, this band is very important. And I never gave them a chance because I didn't like them the first time I listened to it. And it's funny, too, because their album art for their first album is very much like that Zero Boys one. It's timeless, dude. It looks like an album that came out right now.
Yeah.
It's one of the best album covers I've ever seen in my life. Even when I didn't like the band, I thought that.
Totally.
So, okay, so the third album, man, excuse me for not realizing that. My apologies. It came out in November of 79. Wow, it actually peaked at number 31 on the UK charts. That's actually quite high.
It is.
So, yeah, dude, this album's 11 songs, 37 minutes in length. I think that the album title, Machine Gun Etiquette, is incredible. That's actually probably the catalyst to me wanting to listen to this, is that I really thought that the title was clever. It opens with one of my favorite Damn songs, though. Like, it's funny because I don't know how I feel about the album rankings yet, but song rankings, Love Song is like, it might be my favorite Damn song. I love that track, dude. It's so good, man. Here's the thing, man. With songs like I Just Can't Be Happy Today, it's got a very Doors feel to it. It's a great use of the keyboard and like the organ sounds and such. But like, it's weird that this band is so beloved in punk circles that it's got such a classic rock sound on a lot of their stuff. And I think it might be later in their career more so than early, because I don't recall that being the case on Self-Titled or Damn Damn Damn, whatever the actual name of it is. But I'm a novice with this band, so I don't know. I still got a lot to learn with them. But they have a lot of sounds that I don't associate with punk within their music. You know what I'm saying? You mentioned guitar tones earlier. I did make a point of writing down that I don't really like the guitar tone on this album very much, but the songwriting is so good that I don't really care. But the drums on this album, bro, I'm not a drummer, so maybe I'm not hearing it right. Dude, the drums on this record are phenomenal, dude. Yeah, man. Anti-Pope, absolute banger. The message is on point too. Gets a little bloated in the second half for it to be my top pick, but it's a great song nonetheless. Plan 9, Channel 7, great song, well crafted, very well executed as well. Far too long for me personally. It's an example of why I never really liked The Damned as a young person, is songs like this. It didn't sound punk to me. And I've been told I have a narrow definition of punk. I don't even take that as an insult. It's just part of how I look at things. It's fine, whatever. I think it's gotten more broad over the past couple of years, but I do agree that I've got a fairly narrow definition of what I consider punk rock. But I also consider it punk rock, and then punk is different to me. You can be punk and play something completely different. But you know, it would have sounded like classic rock to me, like I said earlier. What's wrong, buddy? Did you just throw up? What's going on? Here, come here. What's going on? What's on your face?
The other 2 bites, it's a pony sauce had something inside it, and I didn't know what it was. But I didn't like those parts.
Okay, we'll go figure real quick. Hey, say hi, Nitty.
Hey, buddy. What's wrong? Why are you crying?
Yeah, some food issues.
Oh, no.
You be all right?
You okay, bud?
He's okay.
Yeah, you're tough.
Did it startle you a little bit? Yeah, you coming here for some help, huh? So we'd be all right, huh? Tell everybody, say, I'll be listening to punk, but I like Rancid the best.
Parker, look.
I listen to punk, but I like Rancid the best.
You heard it here first, kids. This guy likes Rancid the best. Anyways, I love you, bud. Hey, mommy's right there. Go knock on the door. She'll help you out, okay? All right, I love you. You okay? Man, I'm glad that's all it was. He scared the crap out of me, dude. I thought something really serious had happened.
Nice.
Okay, so anyway, back to talking about the Damned.
Okay.
Yeah, noise. Excuse me,
Mhm.
dude. Absolutely shreds in that song, man. This album was it was a trip, dude. It was a trip, man. Looking at You is another great song. That's a bit too long for me, but I like most every component of the track. It's just a little long. That's the thing I have a problem with. I've gotten so stuck on short, fast songs. I can't even hardly listen to a 3.5 minute song anymore. Like isn't that crazy, bro? I was listening to stuff today. I listened to Lion's Law, amazing band with an amazing new album, and had a song that was like almost 4 minutes. And like, dude, by like the 3 minute mark, I was literally like, dude, hurry up. That's crazy.
I feel differently about longer songs than you do because if the song is interesting and I'm engaged, it's okay. If the song is boring and I'm not engaged, then I lose interest. Sorry, keep going.
No. To keep, dude, say your piece, bro. I took over a whole bunch of your conversation earlier.
No, it's all right. I'm not taking over this conversation, but like, Damned is a band that again, like I'm still getting more familiar with. I know that they have a pretty long history, and later on they turned into more of a gothy kind of band. Maybe kind of got a little further away from the straight ahead punk stuff. But like this band, I mean, I like the guy's voice. He's got a really cool voice.
I do too.
He's got a really, and like if you've ever seen this band live before, the guy has a lot of charisma. Like his stage presence, like he's got swag for fucking days, dude.
I saw him at Punk Rock Bowling.
They're really good. I mean,
I loved it.
Dude, it was fantastic, right? I mean, there's a reason they headline these big events and shit. But no, and I remember seeing them live. And at the time, I didn't really even know who the Damned were. I saw them in Oakland at some festival outside. And I was like, wow, this guy is just like commanding the attention of the crowd. And he's got so much like charm and swagger to him, you know, on the mic, just up on the stage and stuff. So I always kind of liked him as a front man. And then I heard this record and I'm like, wow, like he's just like really like swoony and kind of has a cool like vocal affect to him a little bit. I can see how this album in a lot of ways is a proto-hardcore record. There's some elements to it, particularly early on in the record, that like you hear the riffing is very like, kind of I don't know.
Sharp is what I would call it.
Yeah. A precursor to like a lot of the American hardcore stuff. A lot of the like Minor Threat loved the Damned. Like Ian MacKaye was a big fan of this band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like all the American hardcore stuff, like loved this shit. That's where it came from, right? So it's like this is a band that just really like spawned a lot of that type of music. I mean, are they a hardcore band? No, absolutely not. You can hear on the record, but like, are there elements to them that might have been the early seeds of what would become hardcore? Yeah, definitely. I think so.
They're very eclectic in their sounds.
Yeah.
I want to reiterate that I'm not an expert in this band at all. I'm still learning about them.
Either.
So anybody that has like comments and history, like let me know, man. Like I was only listening to this album because I was told to listen to it like via my comment section in my live stream. So, I enjoyed it, but I have to be careful with these bands because they're beloved, and I'm trying to not incite a riot on YouTube comment sections. But it's
I'm with you.
I think I've gotten a lot more mature with my music listening over the past 18 months or so. And I just want to listen to it with a more open mind. And I'm trying to get to where I have a list of bands I'm trying to like explore, and there's going to be some that I just don't like. And the Damned is a band that I think I prefer their first album. I need to go back and listen to the second album because I really thought this was their second album, again, because I don't know much about them. So I need to go back and listen to their second record. This might be another instance of like a Clash style thing where I like the first couple, don't really care for the later stuff.
Yeah.
I like this album. The highs on it are really high.
Mm-hmm.
The lows are kind of low, though, at least for me personally at this point. I do appreciate the musicianship. There's a lot of different, like this is like the polar opposite of the Zero Boys. Like this is as far as you can get within punk rock. It's got keyboards, longer songs, like orchestrated, like melodic stuff.
Yeah.
He sings more than he's like yelling at all.
It's really like experimental in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, man. Like as far as talking about songs that I liked and songs I didn't like, this album it was a little. How long is it? It was. I think it was kind of a long record, wasn't it?
It wasn't that. I mean, it could have been more than half an hour.
Oh, really?
Nah, yeah, I don't think so.
No, I think the other album that I'm fixing to talk about was the longer one.
They do an MC5 cover on this. Looking at you.
See, I don't even listen to MC5 enough to know what that is. Damn, you were right, dude. 37 minutes. Okay, man. I'll be honest, dude. It felt a little long. You know why I think it felt long to me? Because the last 3 songs, 2 of them are like longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and that's just gonna make me sit here and like twiddle my thumbs a little bit. But when I look at the liked songs versus the not liked songs, I literally liked every song on here but one. So like, you know, my subjective grade on this is going to be fairly high. The only song that I don't like is These Hands. It's a dumb song with dumb circus music. I don't like it. I don't understand that song. And maybe there's something I'm not getting.
No, it's just I think it's like a theatrical interlude. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They're just kind of because there isn't any other song like this on the record.
Right. Well, then you have 5-minute song, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. That's taxing on somebody like me, man. So like my only real critique of this album is that some of the songs are too long for my personal taste. But I mean, otherwise, pretty great record. The best song, at least for me, has got to be Love Song. That song's, dude, it slays, bro. I love that track.
Yeah,
It might be my favorite damn song.
Everyone likes that song. That's a classic, you know.
That might be my favorite song by the band, at least for right now.
I
love that I'm discovering all this stuff because I got like endless amounts of music to discover, and I don't have to worry about new shit. I don't have to worry about AI crap. I can just keep going backwards and listening to music.
I like the song Liar a lot. That's a good song too.
Wire?
Yeah.
Man, I wish we could listen to songs on here together, dude. One of these days we're gonna do it to where I can do that. Oh, you said Liar, the second to last track?
Yeah, second to last track. It's a good one. They got some good hooks. You know, they got some good songwriting going on.
They're very good at songwriting. That is absolutely.
I can see how that band, Spiritual Cramp, would like love this band.
That's another band I need to write down for later. Is that did they have it? Was their album this year?
They're kind of like a cool guy band, you know.
That band's dope, bro.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. I can't say that like I've listened to like their albums all the way through and been like, oh, this is awesome.
No, I haven't either. But their newest album is very good.
I thought was awesome, the trio, but it wasn't them. It was Spiritual Cramp.
That's so funny, bro.
Well, they're really like eclectic band. They have a lot of different styles that they kind of cover. So anyway, this band, The Damned, I mean, is a big influence on bands like AFI and stuff too.
Oh yes, a lot. I mean, when you take I just want to write that down before I forgot. You take The Damned and then you mix in the Misfits, you literally get mid-career AFI. Like that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Dude, now you're making me want to listen to this even more, dude. I was prepared to give this kind of a, mid-grade, like 7 out of 10, but I think it's better than that.
I think it deserves a little bit more.
Because I'm like looking back at the song titles and I'm going, no, I really enjoyed all these songs. Like,
I had a good time with this record. I really did.
Good. I'm glad.
I was on a walk and I was listening to it, and I think because you're sitting there and listening to it, it takes longer for you. But like I'm like on my feet walking around, so it doesn't seem as long. You know
what I do that makes it a little more like interactive and enjoyable though is that if you never noticed that I have like on any album I'll have like song title and then a little like blurb, right? It's because I just constantly write down stuff while I'm listening to it so that I can stay engaged. I don't get distracted, and it makes an album that's 35 minutes feel like it's 20 minutes, right? So like, the longer songs are a little taxing, occasionally, but whatever, man. This album was great. I think I'm gonna go with like,
that's a good one.
Probably like a 8.5 subjective and probably objective as well. And the reason I would give it an 8.5 objective score, and this is again, I'm still fairly new to this album. I just think it's influential. I think it was eclectic enough to give. So they're a punk band, right? And they're doing stuff that like classic rock bands do, but artists that won't listen to classic rock bands will listen to The Damned, and then they will get inspiration that they don't even realize is coming from bands like the Rolling Stones and the Doors. So like for that reason, this album has to be important because bands are going to have influences from those classic rock bands that we may not like a lot through this band. And I think that's very important because then you get more interesting albums in the long run.
I totally agree. And this is a band that I want to dive more into and kind of explore more of their catalog and really listen to their music. Because I think like I said, I just haven't really given them a shake, you know.
Right.
So,
Well, that was my biggest gripe from people in my channel is that I wasn't as knowledgeable about older stuff. So I'm just going through and doing that myself too.
Right.
And not realizing that this was their third album made me feel kind of stupid. So
I'll listen to the first two now. Maybe we'll come back.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the second album. But their first album, I've actually grown to like quite a bit. I don't know what kind of grading I would give it or anything, but I like it enough now to where I'm like, yeah, I'm a fan of The Damned. I don't know how big a fan, but I'm a fan of that band. And I stand by the fact that I love that album art. And when I was young, I didn't even realize that album was old. And I mean, like in my 20s, I didn't know much about them at all. So I assumed that they were a modern band because that album cover is so well made. The photograph is perfect. The guys look like they could be from any era. Like, dude, you can tell me that those dudes are from the 70s. I believe you. You tell me they're from the 80s, 90s, or 2000s. They look like they are. So, like, when I was young, I thought that was a pretty new album. I didn't realize it was classic punk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's...
Dude, shout out Dark Thoughts, bro. What's up with this shirt, dude?
So good.
Let's go.
I love that band.
I know you do. That's why I was saying it, bro.
Great.
All right.
All right, let's move on.
Let's move on to your other album, dude. This will be an interesting conversation.
Well, this is one that this is a band I spend so much time on the Zero Boys that I'm gonna have less to say about this band, unfortunately. So maybe you can help fill in the gaps. But Germs.
This is gonna get us lambasted in the comments.
Yeah, this one's gonna get me fucking flamed in the comments. It's okay. I don't care. Flame me. Germs' self-titled album came out 79 also, I believe.
Yep. 16 songs, 39 minutes, basically.
Yep, that's right. I liked it. I mean, the thing with this, look, okay. It's an early American hardcore record. I mean, it is like the Fred Flintstone of American hardcore, right? I mean, this is the beginning. This is like the genesis of this shit, you know? So for that reason, I respect it a lot. It has every element that makes it a proper punk record. It has the authenticity. I don't know a lot about the history of the band. Darby Crash, his story. I know there's a lot to like learn about and read with them. I knew that the guy from Nirvana played in this band.
Yeah, Pat Smear. So,
Pat Smear.
Dude,
Belinda Carlisle of the Go-Go's played drums for them at one point.
So insane.
Yeah, and Joan Jett produced this record. I remember reading that shit.
So I said right as if I know that's a fact, and I don't. I'm also not a big I don't know how to say it. I'm not a big fan of this band. Like, I don't. It's not that I dislike them actively. I just don't. I never got into them.
It's not bad.
No. My thing is that I just never got into them. But I will say this: they're an early example of music that I love, and they're queer, which I've got a incredibly that's an important distinction for me because some of my very closest friends are within that culture. That's how when people bring it up in the stream, and I always can rattle off some band names, and they're always like, "Dude, how do you know those bands?" I'm like, "Dude, I got a whole lot of people that I'm very close to that are within that community. I'm like right outside that community. Like, those are my people, bro. I love the queer community. So like the fact that Darby Crash was gay, I think is incredibly important to punk and hardcore because that tells you that you have like the Big Boys, Germs, these early bands that had queer band members. That should tell you that should be accepted within hardcore. So if you have somebody that's not accepting that, that's bad, bro. Like it's part of punk, right? Anyways, my whole point was that I think it's cool. We have this early example of somebody that is so modern because this is a modern person back in 1979. Mm-hmm. This guy could have been alive right now, dealing with the same shit, being the same person, making the same music, and he would probably be almost just as beloved. You know, that's an incredibly sad story what happened to him, and I don't have all the details, but I know fairly well what happened, and It's awful, man. But when you talk about this record, I hadn't listened to it all the way through, maybe ever. I think if I did, it was in like patches. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
When I was younger, this is not the kind of music that I was into. And it's still to this day, I don't know how much I love it, but there are things about it that I love. I love what it represents. I love the fact that Darby Crash was part of that community. So there's like things that I can attach myself to with this record that don't mean that there aren't necessarily the songs, if that makes any sense.
No, that's kind of my sentiment about it too, right? Like I listen to it and I can see how bands like Poison Idea were really influenced by this band.
Oh yeah.
You can like hear it in their like in the riffing, kind of like his vocal style a lot, you know. And it's cool. It's just it gives you a kind of frame of reference, I think, for a lot of where American hardcore came from. And this is one of the earliest bands to like really be doing it, you know.
Dude,
and, what's up?
Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I have something to say in a second, but I'm gonna forget.
Go ahead. That's pretty much.
Man, here's another example of a band that I am positive that if I was able to see them play live, I would probably love them.
Yeah.
It's like the two that stick out the most to me
Bad Brains.
Bad Brains and and Germs, because
yeah,
they're two bands that I don't really care for much, but I know that if I was a young person back when they were playing live and I could have been there and felt that, I would have a completely different opinion of the bands. And I've tried to listen to both bands, and I'd rather listen to the Germs out of the two, of course. And they've both got songs that I like, but I don't know that I'll ever own the albums, man. It's interesting, dude, because I part of me doesn't really care because I just don't. You like what you like and you do what you do. So be it, right? But man, I feel like I'm selling myself short of some of this stuff, but I also don't want to be a fucking poser, man. I'm not going to say I like stuff I don't like. I just can't do it.
Well, that's really authentic. I think the thing with a lot of early classic punk records, especially for punk fans, they tend to like, you know, really latch onto the records that speak to them. You know, the Germs, you know, are a band that maybe a lot of people would automatically be like, holy shit, that's as punk as it fucking gets to me. I like that. You know what I mean? I like what they're talking about. I like how they play.
Right.
And that's it, you know. Whereas some people are gonna be more like, oh, the Ramones or the Clash or whatever, you know, band you can think of, right? Black Flag or Dead Kennedys or whatever. So these bands are kind of like household names in a lot of ways.
Right.
So it's like people tend to like gravitate toward these bands at a younger age.
Okay.
You're not going to find a 40-year-old man being like, oh, the fucking Germs, and hearing them for the first time. In a lot of situations.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. But you know, sometimes. But
usually. But this is music you find as a kid.
Right.
A lot of time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I was a kid, I heard it and I didn't care for it then. You know.
Yeah, but then your friends or other people that you knew that were kids did.
A lot of my friends did. No. This was a popular band even. So here's the thing, though, man.
That's the thing with music.
This is probably a hot take, but a lot of bands like this are influential, and without them, we wouldn't have what we've got now. And that doesn't mean that you have to like them. But that is not a popular opinion. Most people think the opposite of that. They go, no, Bad Brains were this, you know, incredibly important band. You have to like them. And then they equate me saying that I don't like their music with me being disrespectful. You have to respect them. I never said I didn't respect them. And I'll say the same thing about the Germs. This band's important. They were influential. They were iconic. You have to like them. You have to respect them. No, I agree. You should respect them, but you don't have to like them. And we're just talking about subjective opinions on most of this stuff. So my hot take would be that a lot of these people say that they like this stuff, but I bet if you sat down and talked to them about the music, they wouldn't have any more knowledge than we do about it because they don't actually like it. They don't actually listen to it. They just own the record. They've listened to it twice so that they can say, I own that record, you know? And I think that some people, and I would include myself in this, I'm willing to just whatever. I'm going to like what I like, and I'm going to listen to what I want to listen to.
You brought up a good point. So I think that the real fans of bands like this are people that are like the historians. The people that actually study the band and like know about them and their their lineage. And
well, that would probably make me like them more.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, you know, I think that a lot of these older kind of more like archaic, you know, first generation punk bands have that kind of a legacy. Not a lot of them like have the staying power like Zero Boys do, right? Like we
Right.
just talked about them, right? Like that album could have been released last year and it'd still be a banger, you know? This record is just very raw. And it has a lot of, it's got great songs on it, don't get me wrong, but like at one point I was just kind of like, and you know, it's got some earworms. Richie Dagger's Crime.
That song's awesome.
Like I remember that was on a tape that I had called Old School Punk that I got from Hot Topic. I brought this up many times in streams, but like, you know, that's the first time I actually heard 80s punk, you know, as a kid. And I was just like, whoa, like, and that song was on that tape. So yeah. I thought it would be worth it to like listen to that album and actually give it a shake and
I mean,
play it.
My honest opinion is when you said it, I got excited and I thought I was going to like it way more than I ended up liking it. But in a year, I could like it way more than I do now.
Yeah.
I didn't used to think this way. Like the way that I think about music has changed in the last 24 months.
Yeah.
24 months ago, I wouldn't have listened to the Damn record. I wouldn't have listened to the Germs record, and I wouldn't have listened to the Dead Kennedys record. But I would have probably listened to Zero Boys because I already knew I liked that record, right? But I wouldn't even have listened to those albums because I didn't like them. I didn't like classic punk. I didn't care about it. It wasn't that I wanted to ignore its importance. I just didn't have the time to think about it. I was like into other stuff. But the music I liked is what I liked. As I'm getting older and I'm learning about, and I'm going to these events and I'm meeting these people and I'm talking to other musicians that I love, and I'm finding out what they love, and it's making me want to go back and listen to this stuff. So like talking to Gordy from The Forgotten, well, there's a few bands that I listen to now that I wouldn't have ever listened to had it not been for him. Now they're not some of the classics necessarily, but he gave me a list of bands like, oh, check these guys out if you like The Forgotten. This is where we got some of our ideas from. This is the sounds we liked. This is what we were listening to when we were young. And it's just like, you know, music. So, you know, people can think what they want about me, man. It's a common topic of conversation within the comments. I make no qualms with the fact that I'm not a tastemaker, dude. I'm just a fucking dude. And like, so I'm a little sad that I feel the way I feel about this album, but it is what it is. Well, dude, I mean, I constantly say that I want to like this stuff, dude. I want to be a fan of Husker Du. I just don't like the noisy sounds. The songwriting isn't the issue; it's the recording. So it's like, you know, why would I actively want to not like this stuff? That doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
you know?
There's also like thousands of bands to like. Why be so focused on liking one or two, right? Like it doesn't matter.
Dude, you know what's funny about? I've said that to people and they're like, yeah, but you still have to like these. I'm like, dude, you're so ridiculous.
Well, they're just the purists. They're the ones.
Shout out Dante Ross, bro.
Dante Ross. Yeah.
Dude, no, I'm not even kidding.
I still forget you talked to that guy. Dude,
what?
that was a crazy interview because I was like, how the fuck is he talking to the guy that like got Jay-Z signed? Like,
no, dude, shout out. I wasn't even kidding, dude. Shout that guy out. He's fucking cool, man. Like that's cool. The reason that I went back and listened to so much of this stuff is because of that guy. He was so pissed at me and he talked so much shit. And then I just let it bounce off me. And I was like, hey man, if you're the fucking guru, then teach me. And he was like, oh, I did not expect you to say that. And I'm like, bro, I got no reason to act like I'm somebody I'm not. We talked for 10 minutes and we are like, hey, man, we're never going to be best friends. But
he knows his shit. He knows his shit.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. But, you know, we're all right. We're good. I should hit him up.
We should get him back on the show again. Remember that he said, like,
I'll email him tomorrow and just say what's up. Just be like, hey, man, how you been? Like, look at all these bands I like now because of you asshole. Like,
dude, he'll love that.
For sure. I'm still trying to get into Bad Brains because of him, dude. He's the whole ass reason that I care about listening to that band.
Yeah, dude, he's a guy that I would love. I told you, I in San Francisco, I went out to eat with that guy and my buddy, and Dan the Automator from.
That's so crazy.
Gorillas, yeah. Anyway, man, whatever. That's a different story.
Dude, he's a cool dude, man. Shout out Dante Ross. But let me go over this record a little bit because you said you didn't have a lot of notes. I got a few. The recording quality on this album, surprisingly good. For an old ass hardcore record, this album sounds really good. Like, at least to me. You know how I am about that stuff. I'm kind of picky with my sounds, you know. You like a much more raw sound than I do. We'll put it that way. You already mentioned Richie Dagger's Crime. The vocal performance on that was excellent.
A good one.
Lexicon Devil, also a great song. Wish I could have seen this band live. Like I said, I feel like I would have been a huge fan of them. I actually wrote that down. Some of the drawn out, like growly vocal parts on this just didn't do it, because he did a lot of weird experimental. But here's the thing, this is an early hardcore band, so they were doing shit that isn't what we consider hardcore.
Experimental, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So they were doing stuff that, like, also the drawn out vocal parts, they sounded kind of like Bad Brains ish, dude. Like they had a lot of crossover in their sounds.
Oh, definitely, I heard that too.
Not necessarily an ability, I guess, but in like just kind of sonic sounds. The guitar work on Our Way, it's kind of Cramps-esque, but I can't tell if it's deliberate or not. But there's a sound there that kind of bugged me a little bit, but there's also some stuff I liked about that song. It was pulling me in different directions. It's probably because I'm just getting acquainted with their whole album, but I don't think I could listen to this all the way through very often. I would like their music included on a mixtape or something like that, though. But I stand behind the live show thing. I would have loved this band if I was able to see them play live. That I wrote with a bunch of stars next to it. Like, don't forget to say this. I agree, man. I think the fact that I'm not super familiar with this album, if I gave it some more time, I'd probably like it a lot more. Yeah. The other newest one, very Clash sound. Can't tell if I hate it or love it, honestly, but I think I love that song. Let's Pretend has really great guitar work, and I enjoy the drums a lot. Vocals are really bad, though. I didn't like the vocals in that song. But yeah, so as far as like best and worst, let's see. Oh, I put worst song, Manimal. It's a bad song with bad vocals. And then I went, wait, never mind. Shut Down Annihilation is actually the worst song. It's just an awful song. Terrible vocals, and it just keeps going on and on and on. No thanks. I put for the best song, Land of Treason. Great vocal performance and melody. I also really enjoyed Media Blitz. I don't really know which one I like better. I think I like Land of Treason better, but I could any day I could switch over to Media Blitz. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the album. As far as a grade on it, I gave a subjective grade 6 out of 10 because I didn't really enjoy it that much. There were some songs that I liked. I'd like to put them on playlists and mixtapes. But an objective grade, I put it at a 9 out of 10 because I think that my opinion doesn't matter on this album. This album is far more important than my opinion on it, and it just is what it is. So, people are going to disagree with my opinion on it. And that's how you get the objective grade being so high, because that's the objective grade. That's the general consensus of things, is that this is a great album. Well, it is. It influenced a lot of bands that I love. So, I didn't like The Clash for a long time. Shit changes, dude. Like, I adore that band at this point. Not so much London Calling.
The other day for not liking London Calling and Self-Titled.
Well, wait, what?
Remember that in the stream last night? People were like, "What do you mean you don't like London Calling and Self-Titled?"
Wait, Self-Titled is the first album. I like that album. I said I don't like Combat Rock.
Oh, Combat Rock. I'm sorry.
And I stand by that, dude. Combat Rock is a terrible record, and London Calling is very overrated. I don't like that record.
I mean, I would say
Combat Rock. Songs on it, but I don't like the record as a whole.
It's a different Clash record. That was like when they're trying to break into fucking the mainstream and shit.
It's got some good songs. It's got some stuff that I like about it, and it's
Rock the Casbah is objectively a good song.
Which one?
Rock the Casbah.
No, for sure. Their hits are solid, dude. Like, I'm not tripping. Like, here's the thing. I have like deep-seated PTSD from that album, dude. I don't like it because I don't like it. It has nothing to do with whether or not it's good. Like, I just don't like it. Like, I'm okay being retarded about that. Like, it's a stupid,
I'm not trying to fight with you on if you should like that album or not.
No, I'm saying, but other people are gonna, and I don't. I just don't like it because I was a young kid. I got it and it burned me bad, and I just was like, no, fuck this album. So I just don't like it.
Because you wanted something else, and you
and had I gotten given enough rope as a kid, I might have liked London Calling a lot, but I never got to. I got Combat Rock first, and then London Calling after that. Dude, that is a terrible way to be introduced to the Clash as a 16-year-old skateboarder that listens to Rancid.
At least you didn't stand Anista first. You would have been really turned.
Bro, I can't say what I would have done because it'll get me demonetized. So yeah,
you probably never would have listened to that.
No, ever again. So okay, like give me a little more rundown on your opinion on the Germs. We'll move on to the last album.
Yeah. So okay, Germs record, man. I listened to this record. Well, I heard the Zero Boys first, and then I listened to Germs, and then the Damned. Right?
Oh, that's rough.
And Dead Kennedy. So you got to think like my trajectory, like where I was at, right? I'm like on a high, right? And then I'm like, oh, okay, the Damned. This is also like this is different. And then like Germs, I'm like, oh, okay,
dude. If we could have put these in an order, we might want to do that with the next episode. Let's see if we can come up with an order to listen to them in.
Yeah, it kind of
that matters.
No, it was just a different experience. It was cool.
No, but that matters though. When we're talking like this,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
when you listen to that, if you're in a bad mood, you're gonna like it less. But if you can get it first, and like if we could have somehow figured out, like if I'd have thought about it, I probably would have told you to listen to the Germs first.
I just
Because I knew you were gonna like Zero Boys.
I know, yeah. I mean, but the thing is, like, the Zero Boys were influenced by the Germs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
that's the thing. So it's like, I kept that in
Weird,
mind as I listened to this record. I'm like, okay, this shit came first, and in a way, it matters. In a way, it matters because it's like,
No, I mean it matters to a degree.
They were like trying something new and like whatever, and like I didn't really have the time, unfortunately, to like look into their history and like how they started out. But like they started in like the mid '70s, so they were there in the very beginning. But the songs I like, What We Do Is Secret, Communist Dies, Land of Treason, Richard Dacker's Crime is a highlight, of course. We Must Bleed, Media Blitz.
So you liked a lot of it.
Let's Pretend. I did. I enjoyed the record. I really did. But
okay,
like,
based on what you were saying, I didn't feel like you did.
But no. I liked it as it being what it was, like just a punk record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't like, holy shit, Germs, dude, fucking, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, let me go back again and listen to this again, But like, and I'm not gonna like continue to put on Germs records.
I know, right?
I'm gonna go back and listen to the Zero Boys because I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome, And
I feel kind of bad saying it, honestly.
Go back and listen to Dan. I don't really feel bad about it. Why?
Man, I have this weird thing, man. I genuinely want to like all this stuff. I want to. I just
you can like it and then like not want to continue to listen to it over and over again.
Oh, see, I don't have that in me. My brain doesn't work that way. I'm black and white.
I can be like, that was good one time. It's like this. I'm gonna give you an example. Someone gives you a cupcake with a really like interesting flavor, right? It's like, oh, dude, try this. This is like
right
fruit, flavored fucking cupcake, and you eat it, and you're like, that's good. That was tasty. I mean, are you gonna go and order a dragon fruit like fucking cupcake again? Probably not. You had it once, you enjoyed it, you liked it. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. That's enough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think this is just where we differ with how we talk and think, because the way I look at that, well, no, this is just a good topic of conversation. The way I think is like, I ate it. It was tasty. If I like it, I'm going to go back to it. If I don't go back to it, it's because I didn't actually like it. Was it fine? Sure, but I didn't like it. That's how this is to me. It's like, sure, it's fine. I didn't like some of the songs I liked. I want to put a couple on a playlist, but like, but I feel bad, man. I have this weird. I think I've been
fruit flavored cupcake to you of an album. I mean, it just is. It was. You didn't hate it. It was fine. But
yeah, I definitely didn't hate it. It was there was enough stuff to like about it to where I feel like it was above average, even for my personal just opinion on it.
Yeah, just because something is classic doesn't mean you have to fucking like
tell that to the internet, bro.
I mean, whatever, dude. Like,
I know. I'm just saying, like,
I know. I'm just like, what? If people like the Germs, you like the Germs. It's cool. Like them. They're fucking. They're good.
Yeah, but you have to, Nitty, because you like punk, and you have to like. Oh. There's a list of bands, dude. You didn't know about this list, man. You gotta get your shit together, bro. You gotta like that band. You gotta like this other band, and then this other band, and then you also you better like Kiss, dude. And if you don't know why you have to like Kiss, because if you don't like Kiss, that means you can't like Turbo Negro. Like, dude, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? There's a list, man. There's a list, Nitty.
Yeah,
you have to like these bands.
As much as the
mountain of shit I got for saying I thought that Bad Brains had bad vocals, dude, it blew my mind. So like, there's a list, dude. I'm telling you, and I'm trying to fix myself, dude. I'm sorry, guys. I'm broken.
I'll say it like this. I like the Germs because of their impact
right
on music that I like.
I'll up you one. I respect the Germs because of their impact.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how is that not showing fucking homage, right?
Because we didn't blaze them. Because it's the internet. And you have to do that. You can't just be like, yeah, that was cool. You have to be like, and just you gotta fucking gobble that shaft, bro.
It's cool. Anyway, we can move on.
Yeah,
I would be interested in reading more about their history and kind of like learning more about.
Well, so that's the thing that I feel about all the bands that I have like a mid opinion on, is that the more I learn about them, the more I ultimately like them, or even some of them I dislike more because I learned something I didn't like. But
But
most of the time, I tend to like them more.
because you now have like a relationship with them, right?
Right.
There's a frame of reference. There's a context,
Yeah.
right? Like for instance, like not to keep going back to the fucking Zero Boys again because I know I haven't shut the fuck up about them this entire time. I like them so much that I wanted to learn about the band as much as I possibly could in the shortest amount of time. So I read about the singer. I listened to some podcasts with him and interviews with him. I'm like, wow,
That's awesome.
this guy seems like a really interesting dude, you know? But again, me being interested in their music is what led me to that point, you know?
That's cool.
So, and
yeah,
anyway.
I mean, look, dude, we dig through all these records and we go through and we do 4 records every other week. Man, it's because we're trying to find the ones we love. And I think we're typically pretty respectful for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, these bands are important to people, dude. And if you like these bands, I don't want to upset anybody, man. If like the Germs means to you what Rancid means to me, I don't want to upset anybody, dude. Like that's not my goal. But you know, people, you know, it's emotional, dude. It's emotional, but people get out of this music. They get a lot out of it.
I know it is.
All right,
last one. It's getting late.
Stop it, bro. It's late for me. It's not late for you.
Late is relative.
Sure.
My dog has to take a shit.
All right. Let me pull up the wiki on this one. Sorry.
Look at this little cute fucker right here, dude. He got a bastard.
What's up, Ren?
Yeah. He smells like oatmeal fucking shampoo.
Bro, I want some oatmeal to eat. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I know. You're a good boy.
All right, you ready to rock and roll on this last one?
Let's do it. Go.
So we got September of 1980. We get Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables. I have a hard time saying that for some reason. By the Dead Kennedys.
The tongue twister.
This album, bro. This album. So let me pull this up on here real quick. How many songs was on this record? Okay, so it's 14 songs in 33 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very weird relationship with the Dead Kennedys. When I was young, say like 8th and 9th grade, all the way up through like age 20 or so, I loved this band. I had a couple of their albums. I only had a couple though. I didn't have this one actually. I had like Give Me Convenience or Give Me Death.
Mm-hmm.
I had that other one. Is it?
What's
not
the
in God We Trust? Is it? No. What's it called? See, this is the thing. Is I have a very weird relationship with this band, and it's all because I had like a 20-year hiatus, 25-year hiatus on this band. Through no fault of my own, mind you. No, it is In God We Trust. Okay, so I was right. Okay, good. I was like, I felt like I was fixing to just completely forget what this album was called. But I had those two on cassette tape. Like I actually had the actual cassette. Like I bought them from a record store or whatever. And I listened to them all the time, and I loved it. And honestly, I have to credit Dead Kennedys because I probably wouldn't have gotten into some of the street punk stuff that I got into had it not been for them. But like, they're an interesting band with an interesting sound, with an interesting frontman. I mean, he's like really eclectic, very like feminine, dude. He's like androgynous almost. Like he's very, very boisterous, loud, and opinionated. So like, you can hear that in their music. Like you can hear him and who he is in them, but he's also incredibly intelligent, very political, and very liberal. So like there's a lot that I love about this guy. There's a lot that as a young person I was attracted to, and I was like, yeah, this guy rules. And then as a like 20-year-old, I started getting into other kinds of bands, and they were like probably inspired by the Dead Kennedys. And then for some reason, dude, like I learned a little bit about Jello Biafra, and I didn't like what I learned. He just kind of annoyed me. He was kind of pretentious, you know what I'm saying? With good reason though, man. The guy's important. So like, you know, by all means, behave like you're important. But as a young person, I didn't like that. And then all of a sudden one day it just clicked and I hated his vocals. And so for like 20 years, I didn't listen to them. I just like, I hate this band. But they've got songs that are like within pop culture that you can't escape the Dead Kennedys, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, Nazi Punks Fuck Off, Holiday in Cambodia. Those are songs that you can't get away from those songs, dude.
Yeah.
Police Truck, you can't escape this band. So for a while, I felt like I was having them pressured on me, and I was like, no, and I was pushing back. And then one day I was doing a video, and I'm getting to the point of this record. So I was doing a video on, like, I think it might have been us. Was it me and you talking about our favorite hardcore bands?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing research on a video about hardcore bands, and I might have been doing albums even. And this album kept getting brought up at like number 1 or 2, like consistently, dude. Like out of every 10, 8 lists would have this at either number 1, 2, or 3 on their top 10 hardcore albums of all time. And it was blowing my mind because I was like, dude, first off, that band's not that good, man. And second, hardcore, like I wasn't wrapping my brain around it. And so one day I was driving across town I think I was going grocery shopping, and I had exactly the amount of time I was going to be in the car was this album's length. And I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to this record. I think I even texted you about it, dude. I was like, this is recent, bro. It completely blew my mind. I was like, wait, how did I just like, I'm like, I do suck at this shit, bro. I'm terrible at life. I'm terrible at punk rock, dude. I'm fucking terrible at this because this album escaped me for 2+ decades. Like, I don't get it, man. I think I just didn't like it for a while, and I should have went back and revisited it much sooner.
I take it that you're a fan.
Yeah, dude, this album's fucking amazing. Like, dude, it bothers me that I never like really fought it. I never like said, no, I'm not gonna listen to it. I just never went to it. And I never just went, let me go give it another try. Like, I just never went there. And once I saw these lists and I was like, why is that record being, I was like, okay, dude, I accept the fact that if I say I don't like it, okay, but it's on all these lists, I have to go back and reevaluate my opinion on it, right? And that's what I did. And I just accepted that I could be wrong. And dude, I was wrong, bro. It is what it is, man. His vocals don't matter. I like this album a lot, dude. It's almost perfect, man. I like this and the Zero Boys. I'm so glad we picked these albums because I like both of them a lot, and I'm going to listen to them a lot. There's, it's cool, man. It's fun, man. This is doing this podcast is a blast, dude. Like, yeah, I think out of all 14 songs, there was 3 that I didn't actively put on like a list of stuff that I like. That's crazy. That's good. That's good numbers. What's your history with Dead Kennedy, sir? I feel like you're gonna say you don't like them.
Never got into them. But
Not surprised.
I recognize their importance, and I liked a lot of their guitar work, man. They're a very quintessential California kind of punk band. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, heavy roots in the Bay Area, San Francisco.
Oh, dude, no, for sure.
And East Bay Ray, the guitar player, like a lot of that style of like riffing and like the stuff that he does, it's like super surfy. It's so cool.
Lots of surfy stuff in there.
Like the way they play, the way the band gets down, like they're awesome. They can play their instruments. You know what I'm saying? I think the vocal styles kind of turned me off a lot. But again, that's just a preference.
That's one of my major issues with it as throughout my life.
But then that's them though. That's the Dead Kennedys. That's Gel Biafra. Like you take it for what it is. It's the whole package. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I enjoyed listening to this record. You know?
Oh, nice. That makes me happy.
Yeah, I did. Of course. I mean, like, I was. It's a piece of history. You know, this came out in 1980. It's like this is a very early and the lyrical content is so. It's cool.
Well, like, I was gonna say that the lyrical content is as relevant today as it was.
Yeah. I think that like, they had a way with words and kind of like talking about stuff that was just really like humorous, but it was also really serious subject matter, and imagine like a lot of like, when I was growing up, like I always saw the kids with their patch on their backpacks,
right
at school, like, ooh, the Dead Kennedys. Like I remember the band, like the name was fucking cool, right? Like
it is a cool name.
They had a really cool band name, with the old English like lettering.
Fantastic logo too.
So yeah, fantastic logo, like everything. Like I was like, wow, this is tight, and like I didn't really know much about them, you know what I'm saying? So just like Minor Threat, I really like the name of that band, and like when I heard their music, I'm like, this is a little rough for me. You know what I mean?
You don't like Minor Threat?
I love Minor Threat. Are you fucking kidding me now? But back then,
okay, they were one of the ones I latched on to early. I've liked them since
when I was right. Yeah, but I was like, I think I wasn't looking for that at the time, right? Like,
okay,
I was just getting it. We're getting off topic, but I was getting into.
I mean, whatever.
And I wanted pop punk. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you're definitely not gonna get the same feeling.
I was like 13 years old.
This
isn't what I was looking for. But then later, when I actually got into punk, I was like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Anyway, back to this album. Like, not a big Jello fan. Dead Kennedys though, like, they got some rippers. They got some jams on this record. You know, just I can't, like, objectively, there's some fucking jammers on this record. You know, so even though it's not my cup of tea, I recognize that it's a hard hitting record.
Dude, I've completely 180'd on this album. Like, I've 360'd on it because, like I said, I used to like the band a lot, and then I fell out of love with them, and then I've come back full circle. I'm glad that I went and Googled all those lists because I don't know when I would have come across the desire to listen to this album again. You know, it might have been another 10 years, and I want to listen to this more. Like, and then when I picked it, I was thinking, like, okay, am I really going to enjoy this listening to this again? I was like, this is the test. Am I going to really enjoy it? Because the first couple of times I listened to it all the way through, I really, really liked it. I loved it, man. I had a blast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, what's the first song on here? I was like, oh, Kill the Poor. I was like, oh, I think I like that song a lot, actually. I was like, dude, it kicks it off, and I'm so glad that they have a great opener. And that's the case with a lot of albums that I really love, is the opener is fantastic. Because when you have a bad opener, it's hard for me to get through a song, dude, or an album rather, excuse me. But yeah, I don't have a ton of extensive notes on this because my story for this album was mostly about my relationship with the band. It was very chaotic. This episode has been very chaotic. I hope people enjoy it, but there's no telling. I put the opener, Kill the Poor, is a confusing yet awesome song. Confusing only because a song this catchy shouldn't have such dark content. It's a great jump off point, though. Will keep listeners very much engaged. When You Get Drafted, also a really good song. So is Chemical Warfare. If that one was a bit shorter, I probably like it even more. But the song is great, but the weird bridge is real dumb. Okay, I hate when bands do that. When they have a great song, they ruin it with a weird bridge. Remove that part of the song. That might be the best song on the album. I'd imagine that a lot of people would call California Uber Alice. Is it Alice or Alice? Alice. Alice?
Alice. Yeah.
Uber Alice. The best song on the album. It's hard to argue against it, but I'd guess it's a personal preference thing. But it's a classic for sure. It's been in a lot of videos, soundtracks, other various forms of art. I feel like it's been in movies and maybe a commercial. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just remembering it incorrectly. And then I put, wait, no. Holiday in Cambodia is probably the collective pick as the best song on the album. I love that song, but I prefer my personal pick. Holiday in Cambodia is just a little bit too long for me personally. It's a great song, regardless, right? It's probably the biggest song on the album. But, Stealing People's Mail, also a great song. The best song is Let's Lynch the Landlord. That song is fucking amazing. And
it's a good one. Right
now, with all the shit BlackRock is doing, it's such an important song. Like it is so yes, right?
Yeah.
The worst song on here is probably Drug Me. It's just not a song that I like very much. Content solid. It's more of a personal preference thing. The actual music I don't care for, and the vocal performance is very bad. Otherwise, the content of the song is fine.
It's funny to make this record regardless of Jealous vocals.
Yeah, no, this album, honestly, dude, is a banger. I don't think I could ever put it as my top 1, 2, or 3 hardcore records because my personal records would be a very unpopular list.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it might tip into like the top 15 or 20 for me. Like, and that's crazy because I didn't used to like this band for the last 20 years. I didn't actively hate them. I just was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I have this weird thing I do where people go, hey, how do you feel about this band? And I go, yeah, that's all right. And then they go, oh man, they're the best. You got to like them, dude. What do you mean you don't like them that much? I'm like, well, no, now I fucking hate them. Thanks for making me hate them because I thought they were fine until you told me they were the best band ever. It's very immature. I can't help myself.
Yeah, and I feel it.
Child, folks, child.
Yeah, I don't really have a ton to say about this one, man, if I'm being honest.
Do you have a song you like on it? One that you like, and then maybe one that you disliked.
Kill the Poor is a great one.
Good song.
Holiday
Catchy,
in Cambodia.
dude. Super catchy.
Obviously, yeah, Holiday in Cambodia is a good one too. Lynched Landlord.
California over islands. Dude, come on, bro.
When you get
like, that song is pretty catchy, bro.
When You Get Drafted is probably not one of my favorite ones. I don't know. Drug Me also, not really so into that one. The Dead Kennedys are a band that I should probably. I can't get past the vocals though.
You
man.
should wait till a day where you're in a really good mood and just looking for something that's like outside of stuff.
Here's the thing with this band. Here's the thing. They're fun. They're fun to listen to. Like you know what I mean? Like it's
well,
like,
that's what I meant with the lyrical content of the first song. It's like super catchy. But you're like, oh, that's dark.
It's like over the top and kind of theatrical and like, you know, I dig it. Like I dig what they're trying to do, and I respect the fuck out of them. I just think that like I need to be in a specific mood to like listen to them, you know?
Dude, there's a few
Dead Kennedys are my Husker Du to you.
That's what I was gonna say, dude. There's a few bands out there that I just need to like. I'm trying to figure out how to get into them, and that's exactly what it is. Exactly the same.
You know,
I'm trying to figure out the two primary culprits here are Husker Du and Bad Brains. I'm trying to figure out how to get into those bands. I desperately want to, bro.
Dude, I mean, it's if it clicks one day, it clicks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I mean? I have imposter syndrome. So, you know, I always feel like I needed to like stuff. And in reality, it doesn't matter. I don't have to like anything. And I'm a fucking rad dude. So you are.
I don't actually think I'm a rad dude, but I'll take it. Thank you. So I just realized that I have actually got 9 Husker Du songs liked on my playlists.
The fact that you actually like them means something. Right.
Let's see here. What's their first album called? Land Speed Record?
Yeah. But that one is like hardly even a fucking record. It's like side A and side B.
So it's a 7-inch.
Yeah, it's a live performance actually.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But it's just like it's ridiculously it's fast and loud and like noisy. Like
so if I'm gonna start somewhere, like just on a day this week, and I have a few minutes, where do I start, Nitty? Tell me where to start. Help me out here, bud.
What do you mean, like where to start with Husker Du records?
Yeah, I just want to listen to one, not on headphones. I want to listen to it at my house. I think that's gonna change the dynamic a little bit. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Every time I have a chance to listen to them, it's either in a car or in headphones, and I want to listen to it here.
Metal Circus.
Dude, that's funny. That's the one I was looking at right now. Going, I think that one because it's only 7 songs.
Yeah. Start with that one, and then take it. You won't be locked into a fucking Husker hour if you start with that one. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. It's short. It's just short enough for you to just kind of like blaze through it real quick and then call it a day. You know.
Well, before we call it a day, I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
I love doing this. I put a lot of time and effort into listening to these records, and sometimes I don't like them. And for everybody out there that's like positive and like roots us on and like helps us find new albums to listen to, and just everybody that gives us help. A lot of people give us comments that are helpful. They give us history, information.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Shout out to all those people, man, and all the people that give us shit and hate on us. Honestly, cool, man. Thanks for the engagement. Like whatever. But the people that are out there that are dope and they understand what we're trying to do, and they don't get personally bothered by the fact that we like or don't like something. Dude, shout out to all those people, man. This has been a great year.
Yeah, thank you.
2025 has been like a really good year, man. And I'm proud of the work we're doing, and I'm proud of the channel. I'm proud of my friendship with you and Rob. Dude, this music has changed my life, and this is why I go back and I want to explore things that I didn't necessarily care for in the past, or things that I didn't even hear necessarily, dude. Like, you know, I just realized that I haven't listened to much of the Buzzcocks, and I haven't listened to much of Stiff Little Fingers. I think I like Stiff Little Fingers quite a bit.
Those are two bands that are fire, though, dude.
I don't really think I like the Buzzcock stuff, dude. I've listened to enough to know that it's not been. I don't think I've listened to like a whole album back to like front to back.
Okay, all right.
But I've probably listened to about an album's worth of music. I just never really could get into it. So that's another couple of bands I'm trying to like explore soon. You know,
at least give Stiff Little Fingers a shot, dude.
No, I'm pretty sure I like that band. I think I've heard enough of their stuff to like them.
That's great, dude. That band's awesome.
Yeah, are they Irish?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dude, hell yeah, man. This is a fun conversation. This is a chaotic episode, dude. I kept like having like these bursts of like things I needed to say, and I kept talking over you. I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry about it, man. We're talking over each other, man. We're just excited. We're happy to be here.
Hells yeah. All right, man. I'll see you around the new year. I'll talk to you, privately before then. But like,
I don't know why that happened.
because is it Apple or Google? Which one is it?
I don't know what this is. The app. This is a Mac. It's a Google. I mean, a Mac. I don't know. But
yeah, dude, you gotta get away from the Apple stuff, dude.
this is a Google. Why? Because I get balloons when I give peace signs.
No, because it's a poison apple, sir. It's gonna kill you.
Oh.
But yeah, we'll do this again right around the new year.
We will.
And I'll send you a couple albums. You send me a couple albums. We'll discuss it over the next couple of days. And everybody else, thank you guys for watching this long ass video. We appreciate it. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next punk rock review. Excuse me.
Peace, love.
Later, dudes.